I've had many a peculiar encounter. This one, however, takes the cake. The scene was set in a familiar watering hole, the kind of place where everyone knows your name. Over the course of several weeks, I struck up a friendship with a fellow patron. He was just a regular guy, or so it seemed. He had a certain charm about him and a knack for spinning a yarn. We'd meet, same time, same place, and chat about everything from football to philosophy. For a moment, he was just another face in the crowd, a companion in the sea of solitude. Our camaraderie was as natural as the passing of the seasons. He invited me to come to his home and hang out with him, but for whatever reason, it never happened. After some time, just like the leaves in fall, our encounters began to dwindle and eventually they ceased altogether. The seat at the bar remained empty, the laughter and chatter faded into the ether. And then, just as suddenly as he'd appeared, he vanished. After a couple of months, life moved on, and then one day, a letter arrived. Jury duty. It's a civic responsibility that most of us take for granted, a routine part of adult life. You get the letter, you show up at the courthouse, maybe you're chosen, maybe you're not. You spend a day, maybe two, sitting in a room. It's a lot of waiting, a lot of wondering. What case will you be assigned to? A theft? A minor traffic violation? Maybe something a bit more serious, like a fraud case. As the days passed, the anticipation built. The mundanity of the summons began to give way to a strange sense of excitement. A break from the everyday routine, a chance to play a part in the justice system. But no amount of speculation, no amount of mental preparation could have readied me for the case I was about to be assigned. Nothing could have prepared me for what was to come. The case, a notorious serial killer terrorizing our very city. But this was no ordinary trial. As the courtroom filled with hushed whispers, my heart pounded in my chest. The doors swung open, and there stood the defendant. I felt the color drain from my face. It was him, the friendly guy from the bar. A wave of shock washed over me as I struggled to reconcile the man I knew with the monster being described. A serial killer, my bar buddy? The man who laughed at my jokes and clinked beer glasses with me? It seemed unthinkable. The charges were gruesome, a string of unsolved murders that had left our town living in fear. But the details were kept minimal, sparing us the horror of his deeds. One detail that they did share was that he would invite the victims to his home, and that's where he commit the heinous acts of violence. I was speechless, yet the reality was inescapable. The friendly guy at the bar, the guy I'd shared stories and drinks with, was a predator hiding in plain sight. And there, in the courtroom, stood my bar buddy. In that moment I felt a chill run down my spine. The courtroom, once familiar, now seemed alien and cold. Swiftly I was dismissed from jury duty, my personal connection to the defendant rendering me unfit to serve. Walking out of that room, I felt a sense of relief, yet it was tinged with a profound unease, remembering how he invited me to his home. Once I got in my car, I grappled with the unsettling truth. The man I shared idle chatter with was the same man who committed such horrible acts. It was like trying to reconcile two completely disparate realities. In the aftermath, I couldn't help but ruminate on the disturbing thought of how we never truly know the people we meet. How easily we can be deceived by a friendly face, a warm smile. And so my unsuspecting friendship with a serial killer came to an abrupt, chilling end.